Thanks, Rob.
All right, thanks,
Rob.
Rob.
Here at the United Center, Big Ten Tournament. I'm here with Carter Elliott. I'm here with Greg Waddell, and one person is happy, one person is not. And the Michigan Wolverines will start there. They are out. They're in the NIT now. It has been a season to forget for the Michigan Wolverines. Hunter Dickinson comes back. We think it's going to be all roses, and instead now they're headed to the NIT. Hunter played well today. Everybody else did not. What do you think of, again, this season and what went wrong, and where do you put the blame? If you're playing the blame game, where are you putting it, Greg?
It has to go to Juwan Howard, but not necessarily for the reason I've heard the loudest criticisms of Juwan Howard. Yeah. It's the roster he built that is the problem here. And everybody wants to point to the three guys at the top, Kobe Buffkin, Jett Howard, who are going to be first-round picks if they choose to go to the NBA. Hunter Dickinson's been an All-American 2 years ago, but we know what he's capable of. But beyond that, they don't have anyone capable of contributing at a winning level for a team that could dream of championships, let alone a tournament berth right now. Terrence Williams went from being a 25-minute guy to completely unplayable. The rest of the team is freshmen. They're inexperienced. And as good as the top-end talent has been, even today, they haven't proven they can do it in the toughest moments of the season. Jett Howard, Kobe Buffkin, 12 combined points, 7 turnovers from Kobe Buffkin. I mean, you feel for him. He came on this podium and said it was just his worst game at the worst time. It's tough because now you're back in that cycle again where they lost 2 guys to the NBA last year. You're trying to replace them with high-level talent. But high-level talent doesn't always equal winning basketball teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, let's turn it to the team that did win and probably got themselves into the NCAA tournament. They had been floundering. Rutgers, Steve Pikiell, they've been 2-6 going into this game, and they made shots in the second half. You know, they always guard, right, Cart?
Yeah.
But what they did was they made shots, and Steve Pikiell's done an amazing job there, and this was a team, again, that you know, needed this win desperately, probably to get on the right side of the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, Jeff. Rutgers is a team that struggles to make shots, and even the start of the game against Michigan, you saw it as Michigan would get up about 6 points, but they never could really truly pull away. And when you have guys who played a lot of college basketball, I mean, Mulcahy's played a lot of college basketball, Caleb McConnell's played a lot of college basketball. You get those guys going, they're just going to will themselves to make some shots. And we saw some performance today from Derek Simpson, the freshman from Rutgers, who I think is going to be a problem in the Big Ten for a long time. It's hard not to make that Geo Baker comparison because, one, they look alike, and two, they kind of play alike too. But, I mean, he's going to get a lot of buckets for this Rutgers team. But credit to them because their backs were against the wall. They were reeling, and they needed this win bad, and they came here and got this win.
As far as Michigan's concerned, you know, where do you see this program headed now long term? Because, again, you know, 2 years ago, I was kind of at a point where I was ready to say, you know what, I screwed up because I didn't think Juwan Howard was a good hire. As most former NBA guys who, you know, have $100 million in their bank account have not done well. And now 2 years later, there are questions about Juwan Howard and whether or not he is the right guy to lead this program long term. You know, he inherited a great situation from John Beilein, a great culture. How much do you worry about Juwan Howard and whether he can get this thing back to where they're not just either getting in the tournament like they did last year barely and not getting in this year?
As much as I want to say I'm worried about Juwan Howard, I'm truly not worried about Juwan Howard because, you know, you look back to last year, they were still able to make Sweet 16s. In the grand scheme of things this year, it was a historically weak Big Ten conference.
So shouldn't they be in the tournament?
But it's a one-year thing. Not everyone can be perfect every year, Jeff. Everyone makes a couple mistakes here and there. If Juwan is the recruiter that people hype him up to be, if he is the player's coach that people hype him up to be.
One of his guys was his son.
Give me this.
How hard do you have to recruit your son?
Give me this. The pivotal point before we can evaluate whether or not you were right or wrong about Juwan Howard will be this offseason. Did he learn from the mistakes of last offseason? Because the mistakes he made last offseason, waiting around for Caleb Houston and Moussa Diabate to make their decisions, is what put this roster in the tough spot. They also had a little issue, Jeff. I know you know about this. Terrence Shannon was almost in maize and blue. What seed is this team right now if Terrence Shannon's playing the 4 next to Jet, Kobe, and Hunter Dickinson? I mean, we're not having this conversation, honestly.
We're not. But certainly he could lose Jet Howard, his son, to the NBA.
Would that be a bad thing?
Yes, it would be a bad thing. Yes, it would be a bad thing because, freshman to freshman, you take a jump generally from your freshman to your sophomore year. He will guard next year. Will he be an elite defender? No. He'll be a better defender. He'll be a solid defender if he comes back next year. So I think they need Jet Howard back. I think Michigan, again, we'll see with Juwan Howard. Like you said, he's got to get a better roster intact, certainly, for next season. Yeah, the portal's huge for him. You want to stay old. Youth doesn't generally win.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in.